Kubray Pulev destroys Jerry Forrest to win a UD. Now, before I get into the how the fight went down, I just want to say shout out to Triller, man. I don't know if they're low key trolling or what it is, but the banter. I've literally watched this whole thing and was laughing the whole way. That you see Tervel Pulev, the brother of Kubray Pulev, before the fight, before Kubray fought Jerry Forrest, and they zoom in and they say, "Oh, Kubray's is sitting in his dressing room and there's like a wee banner just like this one here coming up saying Kubray Pulev," and obviously Tervel's watching it on the telly in the dressing room on the couch, and he's just kind of like puts a wee smirk on because he knows they've cocked up and they're talking as if that's like who they believe it is, like they've never seen this guy before. I thought that was hilarious, man. And then it was bizarre. I think the fight must have been delayed about an hour. They're literally, a minute away, 30 seconds away from pulling this whole fight off the card. And what a shame that would have been. Jerry Forrest, usually, in fact, always the day before the fight or, after the weigh-in, always you try on your gloves and you always have a backup pair. Make sure they're fit, make sure the other teams are happy with it, and it's all signed off and sealed, and you get them on the night. But I don't know what happened in this fight, but Pulev's got his gloves sorted, and Jerry Forrest couldn't get his XL Everlast on. I'm like, what's going on? So they had to unwrap him, and then all that sort of stuff, and it's just pretty nuts kind of stuff, and I couldn't believe it really. So he had his backup pair on, which were a pair of I've forgotten what they were, the pair of rivals. Couldn't get them on either. So he rewrapped his hands, and they were still too narrow for his hands. I couldn't believe it. So they were talking about going to different shows and all this sort of stuff, trying to get different gloves. And at the last minute, Pulev's got his grants and he's got the Bulgarian flag on his thumb and round the base of it. And eventually he gave him his backup pair of grants. So they're both wearing Bulgarian flagged grants in the ring. And they put on last minute. The warm up they both went in looking dry as a bone. And yeah, it's just very strange. Very, very strange. Never seen anything like it. I mean, I had hiccups with the gloves and stuff like the Amir Khan Brook fight a few months ago, but stuff that's resolved very quickly. This obviously wasn't resolved. I don't know who was organising all the gloves and that sort of stuff, but the team should have known. Strange. Anyway, Jerry Forrest, for me, he came out in the first round. He was playing off the ropes. He was jabbing head body to Pulev, and I had him winning the round. The next round was a bit closer. I thought Pulev was doing a bit more work, but I think he got wobbled by Jerry Forrest. And the third round, Pulev was just taken off from the fight, and then in the eighth, Jerry Forrest looked like absolutely done. No legs. He's getting teed off on. Man, you got to give it to Jerry Forrest. Tremendous heart. He reminds me of watching some of these fights from 100 years ago plus, where they're doing like 50, 100 rounds, and he's just still in there taking punishment. Crazy kind of stuff. And he didn't go down. He looked out of it loads of times, but he was still firing back. And he wobbled Pulev a few times. I wonder if at 41-year-old his chin's going a wee bit, but his timing and his bunching crisp as ever, man. So big shout out to Pulev. The scores were it was a 10 rounder, so 98-92 for one judge, and then 99-91 for the others. And I'd probably agree with the 99-91. I had Jerry Forrest winning the first round. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the fight. The whole thing was just banter all the way through. I mean, the commentators were saying every time Kubray Pulev was throwing a 1-2, they're like 1-2 is as American as apple pie, and then when he would land a big shot, they'd be like, oh, load it up and let it fly. I quite enjoy some of those sayings, and they were at the end. I don't know if they were trolling again, but they're like, "Oh, that the whole thing was a bit of a debacle," and then they were debating whether debacle was an actual word. I mean, whether it's banter, whether it's trolling, whether it's like, this is just how these characters are. Fair enough, man. Better than listen to some of the mainstream guys, to be honest. I enjoy Triller. I signed up today. $2.99 a month. That's dollars, man. I mean, literally, probably lost more money in that in the shower, man. But yeah, crazy stuff. Great show. Kubray still looking for a world title. They were saying at the end, it's like another thing they were saying is like, why doesn't he get another fight and fight Anthony Joshua, because Joshua's got one loss to Usyk. It's like, but he did fight him like back end of 2019 or 20 or something like that, and then they were like saying Kubrat Pulev should fight Usyk. I don't think Kubrat Pulev would stand a chance, to be honest. But fair play if that fight ever did happen, and yeah, credit to both guys for putting on a show and eventually coming out. I was worried that they were going to completely pull this fight. So yeah, if you've seen it or you want to know any more information about it, put your comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more decent content. I didn't even know what I was talking about there for a second. Anyway, I'll catch you sausages soon.